The 2005 Royal Rumble is probably the most famous Royal Rumble in WWE history. But it is not remembered for its quality, despite it being one of the best Royal Rumbles, but its controversy. The Royal Rumble was a very good Rumble, and it came down to the final four: Edge, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, and Batista. And Rey Mysterio was eliminated, then Edge was eliminated, and as it was planned, Batista would lift up John Cena and throw him out of the ring, winning the Royal Rumble. But instead, we got the most famous botch in wrestling history. That was because, for some reason, Batista just couldn't hold on to John Cena, and they both went tumbling over the top rope and hit the floor at the exact same time. Now, if John Cena had actually clearly hit the floor first, it wouldn't have been that big of a problem since they were both scheduled for title matches at WrestleMania anyway. But they hit the floor at the exact same time, and it got Vince McMahon very pissed, who infamously ran into the ring, and tore both his quads, and yelled at the referees to restart the match while he was sitting on the floor. The match was restarted, and Batista threw John Cena over the top rope, winning the Royal Rumble and eventually facing Triple H at WrestleMania. You know, this might seem irrelevant, but I think one of the best baseball games in history was the Pirates-Braves game that ended with the infamous call of the runner obviously being tagged out, but the ref called him safe anyway, which ended the game. Now, the consensus for years about that game was that the ref was just tired and he wanted to go home, but it was recently analyzed a few years ago, and it was found that maybe he was right. From his angle, it probably did look like that the runner was safe. This got me thinking, why has nobody questioned the validity of the statement John Cena and Batista hit the floor at the exact same time? So I decided to investigate for myself, as YouTube has a feature where you can go frame by frame, and a YouTube channel called Triple RKO has already uploaded the final 6 minutes of that Royal Rumble. And what I found was absolutely insane, because not only is there a clear winner, but it is not Batista. So I went onto the channel and I went to the part where Batista and John Cena go over the top rope. And I decided to go frame by frame, which led me to 2 specific frames. This one, where both have 1 foot on the floor and 1 foot in the air, and the very next frame shows that Batista's feet actually hit first. Now, it might seem a little bit like John Cena's foot also hits at the same time, but based on all the shadows and just Batista's leveling on the floor, I think it's safe to say that John Cena's foot is just barely hovering off of the floor here, which would mean John Cena won the 2005 Royal Rumble match. You know, it seems weird that no one has ever stopped to look at this. It seems like, you know, it's weird to me that, like, no one has ever stopped to try to figure this out, to see if there was a clear winner of the 2005 Royal Rumble. But I think it's partially the mythos around the 2005 Royal Rumble and this botch. Like, it's a lot less fun to imagine that there was a fuck up and John Cena really should have won than they just happened to hit the floor at the exact same time. But I feel like this needs to be seen. This needs to be shown. Especially with the fact that Batista is now retired and John Cena is on his retirement tour, and he's a heel. Wouldn't this change how John Cena should look at his career? I mean, what if he did win the 2005 Royal Rumble? What if he won 3 Royal Rumbles in his career, tying Stone Cold Steve Austin? And, you know, what if they saw? What if they had the same frame-by-frame technology that we do, and they went back, reviewed the footage, saw that John Cena should have won, and called him the winner? How would that change anything Would that play somehow into Batista's role against Triple H? Does WrestleMania change for some reason? I mean, how did these two multi-time champions, legendary wrestlers, change the course of WWE history? The answer, in my opinion, is who gives a shit, because really, no one cares about the botch. We all just want to see Vince McMahon tear his quads.